Yeah, I've got to get better about dodging these. Jesus. Because the problem is he slowly goes up and then he goes... And then he goes really fast. I hit the dodge button, I promise. See, and the problem with that move is the sword hits you and then the slash hits you. So there's a double hitbox there. When there should, I think, probably only be one, which is on the actual slash animation. See, like that? You see how it... Okay, what does... Oh, that didn't... Okay, I gotta heal. Yeah, see, okay. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, also the generating fire. Okay, so this guy is a testament to switching a game design idea. So in most cases, things don't hurt you on touch, right? So you can like travel through them as long as you're not in where their hurt box would be, right? Like wherever the damage would be. This guy has a lot of areas that have bigger hurt boxes than where the attack is. So when he does the fire thing, instead of it just being a hurt box on each of the dots, it's just one giant hurt box down the middle. And the sword, the whole sword is a hurt box, and then there's a slash attack. So you could, in theory, dodge the slash attack, but still take damage from the sword itself, which I don't honestly like. See right there, we got tapped by the sword twice, but not the... And that one, it looks like it goes all the way up to the elbow core. Yeah, he just also does way too much damage. I'm okay. Also, the timing on his strikes is a bit off. Like, look at that. Do you see? I was actually above where the slash was, but the hitbox for the slash is already ahead of where the blade is. That's what I'm talking about by the hurt boxes not being where you think they are. Because they should be on the blade itself, not the effect. Right? Around the effect should just be to make something look different, but the effect has the hurt box instead. So that's why I'm saying, like, this one's readability on the hurt box is a little different. And I really don't like this move. It might be one of the bosses that it's completely about timing. Also, literally half our health and damage. Yeah, so I think that's also what they're trying to teach us here, is that this boss's hitboxes are big because it's about timing. Because if I stop attacking, you can notice that like it's much easier to dodge. Okay, he's in phase 2. This is great. Love this move. Oh, they're instantaneous lasers. So they don't even work how we've been trained those lasers are for. Yeah, this guy's gonna be a pain. This guy's gonna be a pain. Like, I don't think he's insurmountable by any stretch. I think it's just gonna come down to just like swing, dodge, swing, dodge, swing, dodge, right? Like, so if I stand here, right, I'm gonna do this, okay, and that's also the problem, is the timing is not what you think it is, because it's not, because the slashes come through so quickly that there's no build-up. And this move shoots way too many projectiles. See, I keep dodging that early because I know. Okay, so that's unfortunate too, that the hits slow him down, which means that his timing for his blade was off. Usually they can't hit us through that move, but it's fine. It's just about learning the timing and hitboxes. I'll be honest, because it's like that, yeah. I think it's well enough designed. I just think the hurt boxes are probably a little bit, up to this point, it's probably the least forgiving hurt boxes we've had. And when you take, you know, half your health and damage, it also makes the hurt boxes feel significantly worse. Okay, so it looks like getting away from that attack looks like the future. So, like, if we bait out his dash... Okay, I hit the dodge button, but like a frame too late. Okay, phase 2. Let's figure out how we can dodge these lasers. Okay. Sword strikes are still the same. Okay, but he can start following them up with other stuff. Oh, okay, that's a new move. Okay. So he can, instead of getting the fireball move, he then starts doing an AoE. When they first shoot the ground, there's not an explosion, and there's a short timer on it. So... But yeah, this boss is a very, like... This boss punishes if you've not learned, like, just to focus on like timing, because like as you can see, like, we're consistently hitting him without getting hit. It's just we're not attacking as consistently. There we go. And we could also time those moves, the attuner moves. And see, as long as we're not staying in his, yeah, we can dodge this move pretty easily. Ow, except that one last fireball. Okay, I did that way too early. Okay, I'm getting greedy now. This is on me. Okay, he's gonna do the laser beams. Oh, interesting. If a laser is off screen, it doesn't go off. Okay, and he's using the extended hurt box there. Okay, it does land underneath him. And he still does do... Okay, if he does it in this phase, it shoots even more. Yeah, I think that move is a little unfair. I think that one... The hurt boxes on the actual things themselves shouldn't be there. I think it should just shoot out the stuff. Because they're coming out of that area anyways, you're most likely to hit there anyways. It just feels like it's an extra... It's an extra bit of, like, spite towards the player. I hit the dodge button. Okay, so I think the air dodge has slightly different timing than the non-air dodge. Yeah, okay. Interesting. I don't know if that's supposed to be a mechanic. Because every time I hit the air dodge, it wasn't going off. But if I'm on the ground, it dodges exactly when I push it. Okay, I think there's a few frame delay with that. Maybe just a few frames. I don't know. It just feels like the timing is slightly off. Okay, get away. Bait out the charge. He does that. Okay, I don't know why I keep trying to jump his slashes. That makes no sense given his hitbox. Okay, that's also what's happening. Is I'm not holding a direction, so it's trying to pull up my shield. Yeah, so there's some real issues with the aerial version of things. But the thing is in theory, I shouldn't be using any aerial attacks. Okay, I hit the dodge button that time. I guess I have to use aerial attacks. See, I keep dodging early because I feel like if I'm close enough to him, he's just gonna hit me because of the hurt box of the sword anyways. Like that. The fact that I was above his elbow and he still hit me, like, that's kind of what I'm talking about. And see, there's another, that's what I'm saying is, like, we're starting to see, and I've mentioned this a couple times with other things, there's little inconsistencies, right? So before, when he would do that sliding slash, he wouldn't slash until I was, like, basically where the blade was. But that last slash, I was, like, much further away, and he decided to complete the slash, right? Like, it's just... See, like, you notice the difference between those last two, like, slash uppercuts that he did? Like, that's what I'm talking about, is there's little inconsistencies with, I think, a lot of these fights on, like, what triggers. And it's... Again, when you're playing this kind of game, you have to be careful, because the thing... And I blew that at the wrong time. I'm still never a fan of boss invincibility when it comes to, like, going into phases. Like, if you're gonna do that, like, give something, like, I guess they knock the player back usually, but I don't know. Like, what you usually do in a Souls game when, like, a boss, like, goes from phase to phase is they just take, like, 90% less damage, right? They basically take no damage, but you're still able to, like, hit them. See, I don't know what's triggering that, like, that, I don't know why that triggered twice in a row. And this is another thing with Souls-likes that a lot of developers do miss. I'm not going to be able to win this. I take one more hit from anything and I'm dead. That a lot of developers miss is part of the dance you have with a boss is knowing what behavior aggroes the boss's behavior, right? And here, it just seems like he's randomly selecting things. Yeah, it just feels like he's just randomly selecting attacks to do and when to finish them. Yeah. And again, it should be so. Again, I like talking about game design, and the reason why it's important is because if someone steps out of this and goes, okay, how could I improve upon things that I'm seeing? With Souls bosses, there's a thing called pattern recognition, right? So let's see. Let's do this. This is the player, this is the boss, right? You know, you got a big old boss. So there's a thing where it's like, okay, if I'm this far from the boss, this boss charges, right? If I'm this far from the boss, this boss will leap attack, right? If I'm this far, it'll do a slash combo, right? And because I can learn that behavior, what I can do is go, okay, the window for the charge has no punish because he'll slash right after. He'll charge and then slash, right? But if I move within the jump range, when that boss lands, if I'm out of the way, he doesn't slash as fast, and then I can attack. That's called finding an opening, right? So what I want to do is I want to get out of the charge range into the jump range, bait out the charge, right? So he's forced to follow through with his, or not the charge, the jump, bait out the jump. So he's forced to do that, get a few hits in, back out of the slash range, so when he starts slashing, I'm not in that range. And then when he stands back up, I'm back in jump range, and he jumps again, right? It's called you know, making an opening, but you're doing it based on their behavior, right? So you know your distance from the boss, you know, like and then of course when you get into like bosses that are solely melee focused, so you see this a lot more in games like Sekiro or Lies of P. Where they do certain combos where it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So you'll know parry, 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 right? Like you'll know that is the thing. But if he leans back, you know that's the slam attack, which can't be parried. Or if you're playing Sekiro or Lies of P, everything can be parried basically if you perfect parry it. So you know, okay, 1, 2, perfect parry, right? And that's kind of the thing when it comes to enemies and behaviors. When you're designing a game like this, is they need to be consistent in what they do, right? So I'll show you this. We probably die a couple times showing this, but I'm gonna try to keep a specific distance away from the boss. We'll say basically from this rail. So I'm gonna throw that over there, and I'm gonna stay right here, right? What does he do? He does a charge slash. Okay, now I'm about same distance, and he just runs to the other side, and then he charge slashes again. And I'm not moving, right? And then sometimes he just moves and does that, right? It's not consistent because not every time I'm this distance from him does he charge that. Sometimes he goes to the other side. Sometimes he just zips around. See this randomness? And now he's doing a fire attack. I didn't move. I was basically relatively the same distance from him all of those times. Like in theory, what should happen is if I'm here at the rail, he should always charge attack. If I'm underneath him, he should always fire attack, right? But you see, he just runs to one side. Sometimes he does the charge. I'll stay here, fire attack. Why the fire attack there? And that's how you know that the behavior is random, is because my distance is staying roughly the same, right? So he just decides sometimes he wants to zip to both sides of the map, like this. He'll do the charge. I'll move away from him. Okay, well, I can't. Also, there's another perfect example of the effect hitting before the slash is hitting. So you saw that in the animation. But that's what I'm talking about. That's the fatal flaw with creating a Souls-like and not understanding the basic dance mechanic, as I like to call it, that comes with boss fights. I should be able to read what the boss is doing and know how to manipulate their behavior to be able to get the openings I need to be able to punish them, right? And because this boss is just randomly choosing between dash, dash, dash and slash, dash, slash, fire, like it's just randomly choosing between its attacks, right? It's not, there's no rhyme or reason to what it's doing. And for a boss that does this much damage, that's not what you want. Especially a boss this big as well. See, like, I'm all the way over here. Why is he doing the fire attack? Why is he not charging? So there's the charge, and he decided to end that charge early. What spawned the early end to that charge, right? Sometimes he does a full charge from one side of the screen to the other. Sometimes he stops halfway and then slashes. So that's what I'm talking about by, you know, that's one fatal flaw with a lot of Souls-likes, is they miss that follow-through punish behavior thing. Which, again, I like to call the dance. Because basically, it should be a dance between the player and the boss, based on how legible that boss fight is, right? But because I don't know when he's going to use what move, I can't prepare for it. Like, what makes him go for the double slash in comparison to a single slash? Is it because where I am in relation to him? Well, it can't be, because I stand here and he does the fire attack, right? Like, and then I go over here, he decides that he wants to do that attack, and then the fire attack again, right? There's no consistency. And that's a big problem when you do these kinds of bosses. Now, again, you can play this on an easier mode where, like, this boss would basically be tissue paper if you just want to experience the story and stuff. That's kind of the godsend for this game versus other more traditional Souls-likes, is this has like a super easy mode where you can lower the damage and the health of the bosses and just basically mobs in general, right? Because that's what he needed, more fire. Not healing. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, like, and obviously you could see right there, like, we did pretty good even though I spent half of that fight just talking, or maybe it was the fight before, talking about stuff. Like, there's enough, what's called, I don't remember what they call it in this game, because there is a thing you can adjust that you can turn off their things that tell you when they're gonna strike. That little flash you see at the, like, weak spot, or above the weak spot in its eyes, that thing you can turn on and off. That's where this game excels in readability, is it tells you basically when to expect an attack. Now the problem is it doesn't tell you the dodge window, so it's actually, if you don't understand this game, is preempting you instead of telling you the timing. Your timing will always be off, because if I dodge when I see the, like, that thing light up, I get hit, right? That's the problem. He really does love this fire attack, don't he? And see, that was him ending it early. Okay, now he's gonna do this. I'm gonna bait the lasers here, and then I'm gonna do this. Okay. Yeah, he did not need more projectiles on that. Just saying. Absolutely did not need more projectiles on that move. See, do you see where the blades were? So that is a flaw with this boss fight. That is something that I will specifically say is a flaw with this boss fight. The effect goes through before the blades even move, right? So he does like this, right? He swipes like this. His arms are still here while the effect does its full like rotation. That is an example of bad visibility, because I'm looking at the swords to dodge, not the effect. The sword should follow the effect if that's the case. But because they don't, I'm still looking at these swords that are still like this, and I get hit for half my health, right? So that's something they're going to need to readjust if they haven't already readjusted it. If that's how it's supposed to be intended, I can honestly say I'm not a fan of that. I do not like it when effects are the damage, not the swords themselves, because that's just a miscommunication between the animation timing and the effect timing. I also do not like the design choice of him having that entire fire gate thing be the hitbox. And see, look, perfect example right there. You saw it again. The sword was here, the effect was here. I got hit by the effect, not the sword. So yeah, I would say, point of note to the devs, you need to fix the animations to follow the effects, or slow down the effects to follow the animation, whichever would be easier. Because I'm getting hit by effects before the blade's even going down, which means I'm not able to get the timing right. Also, this guy does way too much damage. Like, just straight up, like, this is far too much damage. Do the dash. See how sometimes he decides to like let it go early and sometimes he decides not to? Okay, he's gonna do that. That's what we want to see. And he does this. 1, 2, 3, dodge. Do that. That. I hate this move. This is like the worst move he has. The lasers, not so much. They do a lot of damage, mind you, but... That move I actually really like. The lasers on the ground with the delay. I really like that because that's more of a test if you're paying attention to what move he did do, not what move he's currently doing. I swear to God, if I die because of these stupid effects. There we go. And that's the boss. But yeah. So I think the timing on that boss needs to be adjusted to where the effects and the sword are moving at the same time. Either the effects slower or the sword faster, whichever would make that match up properly. Damage core system, emergency shutdown. This was the other furnace thing. I remember, this is where I was born. The homunculi were mass manufactured for labor, have considered this thing a parent of sorts. Not a parent, a brother in arms. I wanted to stop it, but we all have roles. Thank you from all homunculi. Of course. In factory, room where homunculi were modified. I want to find it. I understand, we'll find it. Rest now. But also, I love that we get our healing items back. It basically gives you a full reset when you beat a boss, which is cool because then you don't have to worry about running back and then getting a thing to move forward. I'm guessing this is where we're going to get the rocket boots or jump or whatever it's going to be. It's going to be like an uppercut, I'm pretty sure. This is where I was modified. Record of here that looks like the process partly completed. Incomplete. Felt like something was missing. Do you want to be completed, Garm? Want to do more for my friends. Need it for upper stratum. Okay, I'll start it up. So we're probably supposed to use this instead of that whirlwind to take you to upper stratum. Thank you, Garm. I'm counting on you. Garm's Ascent. Yep. Oh, interesting. That's not what I was expecting that to be. You hold up